Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing whether or not Thailand will legalize gambling, a question which remains to be seen. I thought of making this video because a lot's been going on in this space, but in the past couple of weeks it's been a little quiet. I got to thinking of making this video after reading a recent article from The Edge Markets, that's theedgemarkets.com. Article is titled, "As Thailand Considers Legalizing Gambling, Should the Genting Group Be Worried?" And I've never figured out how they pronounce that. Genting Highlands or Genting Highlands down in Malaysia. It's a major casino operation down in Malaysia. I actually went there years ago, Genting Highlands, and it was interesting. It was the first time I'd ever set foot in a casino in Asia. For those who are unaware, I actually worked my way through law school working in a casino, so I have a little bit of insight into that industry. It was very interesting to go for the first time to go to an Asian casino. But also I've been to Macau as well, and that was an interesting experience. The only time I think I've ever played craps in Asia was in Macau, oddly enough. There were no craps tables down in Malaysia. Quoting directly, "Currently, apart from horse betting and government-sponsored Thai lottery, all other types of gambling are prohibited. However, the winds of change may be coming with a proposal to legalize gambling discussed in Parliament in June. This comes shortly after the government decriminalized cannabis in the same month." Yeah, it seems like, I won't say these things are linked per se, but I think the cannabis issue does kind of shed some light on overall paradigm with respect to this issue as well. Quoting further, "Nevertheless, observers are divided on whether the government will actually legalize gambling this time around." Quoting further, "A Bangkok-based economist who covers the Thai economy believes that there is high possibility that the proposals could pass this time." Yeah, just kind of on, we've heard of this. This has come up 2 or 3 times in my 15 years. Right when I was coming in 15 years ago, they were talking about it, and then it kind of fell by the wayside. And then I want to say, right when, I think under the Yingluck government, they were talking about it a little bit. I don't recall anything in between. And now we're seeing this again, but the tone, the kind of momentum and things feel a little different this time than either of those prior incidences where this got to be discussed a little bit at that time. Quoting further, "For one, legalizing the casino business would help add to tax revenue." Yeah, and I gotta say, this is me talking, that's gotta be a major concern. It's always a concern to government's tax revenue, and I gotta imagine tax revenue is substantially down after 2 years of basically having no tourism. Quoting further, "According to news reports from Bangkok, the proposal comes amid efforts by Thailand to revive its tourism industry, a vital component of the economy following the COVID-19 pandemic." Yeah, again, the tax revenue thing is an issue. Tourism being revived is a major issue, and obviously casinos would just be one more sort of arrow in the quiver of the Thailand tourism industry and their ability to attract tourists to this destination. Quoting further, "The establishment of legal casinos," it is said, "would be able to help generate billions of baht from travelers, investors, and locals. It would also help to cut down illegal gambling activities." And as I've said before, this is a balanced thing. It can have a detrimental impact on the local economy to have legalized gambling, especially, in my opinion, having one single sort of sinkhole, black hole for gambling in a particular area. It's one of the reasons why, in my opinion, smaller operations should be able to have sort of little kind of gaming activities. I think it was in an article in the Bangkok Post a couple of weeks back, they were talking about how there would be like major venues, but then there would be the excise department may be able to allow people to provide gambling services, but there'd be an excise tax associated with that. Again, if that's the case and you're looking at something where, little operations could have a poker night or a bingo night, and attract some folks into a little restaurant, an eatery, a bar and grill, and, much like a quiz night or something, it brings in some people, that's only beneficial, I think, at the end of the day. Meanwhile, again, I really do feel, I kind of empathize with the policymakers' dilemma in all of this because, you have to do this in a nuanced way. It's got to be very balanced. You got to be very careful with gambling. It can have tremendous negative impacts on an overall society. But at the same time, sometimes you have to look at the economic concerns and try to kind of weigh both out. So hopefully, I really do hope policymakers here in Thailand continue to deliberate on this and come to a decision, come to a determination that will benefit as many people as possible here in Thailand and harm the least number of people in Thailand.